welcome ladies and gentlemen for this grammar lesson about the past continuous. If you have trouble understanding this, I'd like you to follow me carefully and keep focused till the end. During this lesson, we'll be dealing with different parts, starting with a definition, then a comparison between the past simple and the past continuous. After that, we'll study the structure and the rule. We'll also look at different clauses in compound sentences, followed by a practice activity, and finish up with recommendations about usage of some types of verbs. Now let's get right into the lesson with the definition. This form is also known as the past progressive and refers to an action that was happening at a particular time in the past. To have a clear and better idea of the past continuous, I'd like first to remind you of the past simple with this example. Yesterday, I went shopping, met a friend, had dinner, and watched TV. Here we can easily notice that the four actions took place in general past time, yesterday. Besides, they happened separately. This means each action started and finished in the past without any specific details. However, the past continuous is completely different in terms of time and form. Let's study this example carefully. This guy watched TV for 2 hours yesterday. If we want to talk about specific time, we must say last night at 9:30, Salim was watching TV. Here we can draw the following conclusion. Salim started watching TV at 8 and finished at 10, so at 9:30 he was in the middle of watching TV. In other words, the action was unfinished at the specific time mentioned. The structure of the past continuous is really easy to learn. Starting with the affirmative form, we deal with two groups of subjects, in addition to the verb which consists of the past form of verb to be, was for group 1, were for group 2, plus verb ing. This rule must be easy to grasp in the below practical examples, which illustrate actions that were taking place yesterday at 6 p.m. 1. My wife was preparing dinner. Here the subject is singular, therefore it must be followed by was and verb ing. However, in the second example, the subject is followed by were because it is plural. My children were playing outside. Making the negative form of the past continuous is quite simple, and we only need to add not to the auxiliary verb without any further change. Here we get the subject in the first place plus wasn't or weren't, in addition to the ing form of the main verb. Let's check this short conversation. I called you yesterday at 12:30, but you didn't answer. Sorry, I wasn't working. I was having a break. We notice that the reply is given in relation to the specific time, yesterday at 12:30, and justified by another unfinished action at that particular point. As for questions, they are made by inverting the subject and the auxiliary was or were, which can be preceded by a WH word, and the main verb in the ing form comes last. Check out this conversation for better understanding. What were you doing last Monday at 7 p.m.? I was sitting with my family in the living room. Certainly, if the question is in the past continuous, the answer must be an affirmative past continuous as well. Let's take a break. In the meantime, if you like this lesson, please hit the subscribe button to get more lessons. Still more to come in this lesson. Let's carry on and find this out together. The past continuous is most commonly used in compound sentences, especially when it comes to describing two parallel actions that were happening at the same time, combined with the conjunction while, which means during the time that. Let's read this example. Last night, while everyone was sleeping, I was preparing my school presentation. As you can see, in this example, the word while points out how the two actions of sleeping and preparing were in progress simultaneously at a particular point in time. Let's try to put this into practice. Supposing that the two actions were in progress on Saturday at 11:30 a.m. What was happening? Here is my example. While Yahya was fixing the car, I was shopping for the party. Another example with while. What was happening on Sunday at 4 p.m.? Here is my example. Ahmed was painting the house while Omar was playing football. Please feel free to use while either in the beginning or in the middle. Another important usage of the past continuous can be illustrated in compound sentences combined with the conjunction when, which means at the time that. This is used to indicate how a longer action was interrupted by a shorter one. Have a look at this example. Yesterday morning, I was listening to the radio when the lights went out. This means that something happened in the middle of something else. Here, the long action I was listening was interrupted by the past simple short action the lights went out. In sentences only with interrupted actions, you are free to choose between when and while, providing that you put when before a past simple verb and while before a past continuous form. Suddenly is another indicator of a short action interrupting a longer one and can be used by itself or together with when, exactly as in the following examples. 1. She was talking about her friend when she suddenly began to cry. 2. Last night I was looking for my keys. Suddenly I remembered where I had left them. Please bear in mind that the verb that comes right after suddenly must be in the past simple. I'd like you now to put what you have learned into practice. Task 1. Choose the right option. 1. The phone rang. I was leaving the house. The correct answer is definitely when, as the verb that follows is a past simple one. 2. The boy fell off the bike. He was playing. If we check the two verbs, was playing is the longer action, which was interrupted by fell off. So here we must choose while. As for the third sentence, we were driving near the mountain and it started raining. Here we notice the unexpected action started to rain. Therefore, we must choose the word suddenly. The second practice we'll be having is about verb forms. Here you need to circle the right form of the verb, simple or continuous. You can stop the video for a few seconds and look for keywords that determine the right options for each sentence. As for sentence number 1, it is quite clear that the past simple arrived is the right form for two reasons. First, because we have when indicating a short action. Second, because of the nature of the verb arrive itself, which can never be put in the past continuous. As a result, the second action must be in the past continuous, was waiting as an action in progress. The same applies to number 2, but this time with while, which indicates an ongoing action, was driving, that was interrupted by a shorter one, broke down. Again here, this verb is non-continuous. As for the last sentence, the correct options are was walking, fainted, and fell. Notice again, the continuous action was walking was interrupted by a sudden short action, fainted, then right after it another short action took place, fell on the ground. Please never put verbs such as to be, fall, stop, and like in the continuous form, simply because, like many other verbs, they are non-continuous. Otherwise, they won't make any sense. As in the first example, was being is completely incorrect, and the right form should be was. In the same way, with other verbs, it doesn't make any sense if we say was falling, was stopping, or was liking. So the past simple is the right form. Fell, stopped, liked. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We've come to the end of this lesson, which I hope has been to your liking. Make the most of it. Thanks a lot for your attention. I'll be back with another lesson.